Proper precautions were followed and these doors locked immediately, only allowing people in with card access. The bill has received some criticism due to the fact that it does not provide any exemptions for cases of rape, incest, or fetal abnormality. Not only is the community dealing with this horrible tragedy, but parents are concerned for the safety of their children in this neighborhood. The battle over abortion has been raging ever since the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision in 1973, and the fight is now brewing in South Carolina. A bill was recently passed by the State House banning abortions at 20 weeks of pregnancy. Representative Wendy Nanny says this bill would bring her and anti-abortion advocates closer to their goal.
It allows the state to recognize that baby as a life.
The bill has received some criticism due to the fact that it does not provide any exemptions for cases of rape, incest, or fetal abnormality. Representative Nanny says this bill is a compromise, but Caitlin Wyatt, who works at Planned Parenthood, disagrees.
I don't think it's a compromise at all. This bill is just denying people their constitutional right.
Planned Parenthood is now collecting the signatures of people who oppose this bill. These signatures will be sent to state lawmakers.
It's just devastating to women who, figure out later on in a pregnancy that there's an issue where they need to have the ability to decide how they want to handle it.
Brooke Troxell agrees. Her cousin received devastating news during her first pregnancy. During the 20-week ultrasound, she learned the fetus would not survive.
I feel like she should have the right to choose how she's going to react to that and what her healing process needs to be. So she ultimately made the decision to terminate the pregnancy.
South Carolina Citizens for Life, however, say this bill is just what they wanted.
An unborn child has no more rights than a piece of paper. And so what we have to do is we have to, little by little, restore protection for the unborn.
Representative Nanny says she would not support a bill that would include exemptions.
I don't think it's our call or our judgment as humans to determine that somebody's life is not valuable enough.
A similar abortion ban passed the State House last year but died in the Senate. Anti-abortionists and pro-abortion advocates will have to wait and see who will win this year on the fight on abortion. For Carolina News, Sanne Rodriguez. At this makeshift memorial, Christina is grieving the death of her close friend. Christina says she was friends with Eric Washington since grade school.
Somebody asked him to do something, he would do it. He never downed nobody. He was just, I can't explain it. He was the best person in the world.
3 days ago, the 17-year-old was gunned down in T.S. Martin Park in Columbia. Washington's neighbors mourn his death.
That's a loss of someone's child, someone's nephew, someone's brother, so it was very sad and hurtful.
He was a young man that, was trying to do something with his life.
Police arrested 19-year-old Jameer Taylor and charged him with first-degree murder. They've issued an arrest warrant for 19-year-old Jeremiah Poe, who is also wanted for murder. Police say Poe should be considered armed and dangerous. People who live in the area say they know the suspects, but did not want to talk about them on camera because they fear for their safety. Not only is the community dealing with this horrible tragedy, but parents are concerned for the safety of their children in this neighborhood. Nicole Travis says gunshots are heard all the time.
So you don't really know exactly where it's coming from a lot of times, or someone, really got hurt, or if they were just doing it for fun.
You can't allow your children to come out and play at a park that's so near to your home, because of the situation that's going on. It's just hard.
Friends and neighbors say Washington will always be in their hearts, and Christina has a message for him.
I love you, Eric, and I miss you. And justice will be served for you.
Sanne Rodriguez, Carolina News. This scene looks more like a river than a residence hall, but this is what South Quad residents walked into Monday evening right before 6 o'clock. The water flooded from the third floor and quickly made its way down the second and first floors on the south side. Officials worried the water would be electrified, but were eventually able to shut off the power and the water within the building. Housing staff then completed a walkthrough of the south side to note any damages. It wasn't until 12 a.m. when students were allowed back in the building. One resident, however, couldn't wait that long.
It was basically like the Amazon River.
South Quad resident Brian Solomon braved the water to save something very close to his heart.
I knew I had to snap into, survivor mode, and I had to get any shoe I could get.
Solomon says he has most of his shoe collection here in his residence hall.
And if that meant I had to, get my feet a little wet, I did what I had to do.
Students who live in the south side of South Quad were relocated to other residence halls. They were allowed to return for a short period of time last night to gather 72 hours worth of belongings. They were placed anywhere from Bates to Women's Quad, wherever there was an extra bed to spare. Sanne Rodriguez, Carolina News.